Alright, what is up, y'all? We are here, looking at a round of matches that I played with the Miraidon Regidrago team. I don't know if I've actually showed this team on the channel yet. I think I just showed it in a round of live matches that I played, and I don't even know if I showed the rental code in that video. So, for those who haven't seen this team yet, I like it. I think the Entei Chanpao side of the team feels a little out of place sometimes. Like, while Chanpao's useful and Entei is useful in their own ways, I feel like I'm really not using them that much compared to like Wims, Iron Hands, Regidrago, and Miraidon. So I do really feel like that's kind of the core of the team. And then, Chanpao just kind of has its times, Entei has its times, but like they definitely feel pretty few and far between, even though you do face the Kyrex shadows, and Chanpao can be nice for that, but you don't always need it, so just things like that. But yeah, for those who didn't see the last video, we are doing lot post commentary right now instead of live commentary, just because trying to find the time to live commentate right now is just not really something I have. So we're trying to post commentary right now. My face is here. I might turn my face off in some videos, but I got it on right now, I guess. So thank you to those who watch the vids, and we will get this round of matches started. So this is actually I played these matches before the matches with the Terrapagos team in the last video, and I started off with 2 losses. So I am showing you the first turn of one of the losses instead of showing you the whole 2 losses, because I played a lot of matches. So I ended up going 5-3, and so I'm showing you this turn. I basically tried to call that Zapdos would have wide guard for some reason, and I was like, you know what, why not just click Volt Switch or Electro Drift and then go for Draco Meteor? I mean, it's a kind of good idea. It might not work that well. I definitely think there was no reason for me to not go for Draco Energy. I mean, whatever it's called, I don't know why I didn't just go for that, is my point. So, if I had just gone for the Draco Energy and the Dazzling Gleam, I pretty much would have put myself in a winning position, but because I didn't, this is what happened, so. I'm gonna turn my voice down a little. So what ended up happening in that one was I should have called a protect and then double targeted on one of the last turns, and I might have had a chance to win, but because of that turn I was in a pretty bad position. So now we are facing this Kyogre Mousehold team with Urshifu, Rillaboom, Roaring Moon, maybe Landorus. I forget what the last one was. So some pretty scary stuff. I've found that Regidrago and Miraidon both together just are really good at pinning things, and they function a little differently, right? Because Regidrago does have that strong spread damage of Dragon type, so and it has an ability that boosts its damage too, which is one of those things that makes the real legendaries at times very strong, right? Or the Paradox Pokemon, or Sylveon. Excuse me. So that wasn't necessarily perfect, but like the nice thing about it is that by losing Whimsicott, we actually end up in like the perfect position, right? So we can bring out Miraidon. We can have the Miraidon Regidrago next to each other, and we can just click Dazzling Gleam, Dragon Energy. I think that is what it's called, right? It's just Dragon Energy. It's not Draco Energy. But yeah. Just like the thing about this lead or this duo is that the combination of damage of the two moves, if your opponent doesn't have wide guard, you know, is really hard to get through. And then even if you don't lock into spread moves, there's you know, the other options that you have obviously that can deal with the things that are stopping you from clicking spread moves. But, you know, it is, you still have to think about the typical problems of having specs and Scarf, right? Which is like, you can't protect. You need to think really hard about what you're locking into. But when you're doing that, I mean, I'm just saying. We did crit something, but it wasn't gonna matter. So they swap, but for what? So they do bring Kyogre out now. In this case, yeah, I think I decided to switch out into Miraidon switch Miraidon out for Chien-Pao. And it's a little bit risky, but like, we will still lower their damage output with Regidrago if they don't fake out that slot. Okay. And then if they do fake out that slot, we get to keep what's his name, so. Not great, not terrible. I think that's the way that I would explain it. We go for the Dragon Energy. We do actually want to go for Sucker Punch to evade the Grassy Glide right now. So we also need damage on Kyogre. So we get the Sucker Punch, very important. They go for the Grassy Glide, just like they needed to. And then, yeah, just a little chip. Just a little chip. Offset the Grassy Train. They actually miss Regidrago. Doesn't really matter, obviously, because we have, like, no health. I mean, the chip, it's nice, I will be honest, and it technically could matter, right? It makes me feel safer about locking into not Electro Drift, which I kind of want to lock into, but I decided to just lock into Dragon Pulse. I was pretty confident that I could get away with it, so. I will be posting some of my Global Challenge matches as well. I don't know if I don't think I'm gonna be able to commentate every video that I post like the way that I am right now, but like I was saying in the last video, I do appreciate you know, those of you who understand, and, you know, everyone out there is a homie, you know, I appreciate y'all. It's not like every view is still is a person, you know. I mean, it's is their own person, and while I don't know who every person is watching the videos, I do appreciate y'all, you know. So yeah, feel free to leave comments and stuff sometimes, even though I have been posting less recently and things like that, you know. And then we just take them out with Dragon Pulse, so there's a really good chance that, like, they actually had Grassy Seed or Citrus Berry, because that really, like, didn't look like AV. I think AV should have been able to survive at least one, and then would have gone down to its Wood Hammer damage because it can't KO me with one, so. Next we face a very scary Calyrex Shadow team with the Fish, the Indeedee, the Urshifu, Wims, and other, what's his face? Ogafon. Interesting. I don't think I'm gonna stick with that, but we'll see. I wonder what I'm thinking here. What's he thinking? He's thinking he got Crunch. That's what he's thinking. So we're probably going to try to crunch the Indeedee on turn 1 if they send out Indeedee. And then, yeah. So this will be nice because you guys get to actually see my Entei. Like, we saw the Pokepost obviously, but like, they do start Entei. Or I mean, they do they do start Indeedee. So like, technically we are in the position that we wanted to see. We just double up Indeedee with a Moonblast and a Crunch. There's not actually a reason to Terra Entei right now. Like, I kind of just am. Would definitely be the way to put it. Like, there's no reason that's not a water Urshifu. That's a dark Urshifu right there. And they detect because they're trying to fake me out and then quick trick me. We go for Crunch. And the Life Orb is a really nice adaptation compared to the, you know, Band. Because with the Band, you just, sorry if if the dogs bark. I'm gonna try to mute it if they do, but I'm just gonna mute for a sec. But yeah, the Life Orb is really nice because, you know, you can switch moves and then provide a threat to other things, you know. Alright, they've settled down. So technically, I actually could probably just get away with not clicking Tailwind again if I wanted to. But we're just gonna get the Psychic Train off the field right away and try to do the minimal needed damage. Okay, never mind. We're just going for Tailwind. We're going for Tailwind. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I was too busy dealing with the dogs. So Miraidon can fortunately soak that, but like, barely? And I don't remember if I think Electro Drift actually is affected by Spiky Shield, so like if they did go for Spiky Shield, that would have been bad. Electro Drift would have technically been the best play there, but they go for Sucker Punch. Gotta remember they can do that, right? So, does suck. It's not like the worst thing to have happen. We bring out Regidrago. They should kind of just go for a Sucker Punch again, right? But maybe they won't. And even if they do, we should still do a lot of damage. They actually withdraw Urshifu, which is going to be very bad for them. And that's kind of the thing about Regidrago right there. Like, if you just let it attack without like curbing its damage output, it just wrecks everything. Just like, you know, clicking a Hyper Voice with Sylveon or having a +1 Calyrex, like it's like, wait, it just does that much damage? Like, oh yeah, no, it does. Like. It's closer to, it plays like Yveltal or Xerneas, you know, because it just has an inherent bonus to its damage output of dragon moves, you know. Jeez. So again, they don't go for Sucker Punch though. They're trying too hard to call what's happening. But Sucker Punch wouldn't have got them out of it because Sucker Punch can't KO the Scarf Regidrago. So the Scarf Regidrago is actually a really nice adaptation in my opinion. Like, not only is it faster than Miraidon, so it can break like sashes, quote unquote sash, on like Terapagos and things like that, and actual sashes, but it's good. Alright, here, so we got Torn Giraffe, Regieleki, Blood Moon, Bear, and Kyogre. So we're gonna do the pretty standard wins Regidrago, and it looked like we're doing Shampoo Miraidon in the back. But what I was saying is, like, Regidrago being that fast catches a lot of people off guard. And the pair of the two next to each other sometimes, nice, is just very difficult for them to deal with. So, okay, well, yeah, I mean, we can just click Tailwind, right? Technically, we can click Light Screen, but this is what I was saying. You know, people don't expect me to be faster. Like, that would hurt a lot if I wasn't faster. But because I am, we don't technically know if we're Scarf yet. That has to be like a no-bulk Kyogre. That's ridiculous. I mean, and technically I think You know, it makes sense to run Kyogre 252, 252, like that. That's just insane. So now they're pretty much like pinned in that slot. You know, they can't do damage this turn. Yeah, they have to switch. Yep. Okay. So they could technically get off a Trick Room probably with what I have on the field right now, and that's a little bad for me. I just decided to go for Light Screen and Dragon Energy and potentially wait it out. Some of these teams don't actually like clicking Trick Room choreograph, which is interesting. And yeah, see, so they just go for Dazzling Gleam. Regidrago lives. I don't know if I'm gonna say that that's a good thing, honestly. It's like, yeah, I mean, we can switch it out, and then we can lock back into something else. So 4 isn't 0, there is that. But as long as our Dazzling Gleam, I actually think like Dazzling Gleam almost always does more to Blood Moon than Farigiraf, so like we're pretty good here. If anything, I think Farigiraf would have a chance of living at like 1, and if it did, that would be very bad. They go for Vacuum Wave. A critical hit vacuum. I probably would have rather had that go into Regidrago, to be honest. But you know what? We still have 3 Pokemon, and that counts for something. And you did get the double payout, so. So they just have the Kyogre left, right? Which is already pretty low and is under the pressure of Sucker Punch Dazzling. So yeah, it's sweet. They know. Ain't nothing you can do, my game. And then we face the Miraidon Regidrago Insyn Urshifu team that got 2nd place at the recent event. And honestly, yeah, I mean, we have a weird matchup into the treads for sure. Like, there's ways that I can deal with it, but we still need to be avoiding the other pressures of the team at the same time, right? So I'm kind of hoping that I can just lead the Miraidon Regidrago here and rely on bringing more offense in the back instead of going for Whimsicott. Like, there was a version of this team that had fake tiers, and I just felt like I wasn't clicking it a lot, so yeah, I mean, now we have this, and I think it works. let me be more specific. I just changed fake tears to light screen, so I felt like I'd probably use it more often, or slash get more benefit out of it in general. But there are times, you know, where I could see the fake tears being useful. I switched my Terapagos to substitute from Earth Power, and I can see why it's not necessarily needed, but it does really help in certain matchups versus like really strong pressure, or versus like a Mungus, right? But besides that, like we don't ever really click Earth Power, but like versus, you know, wide guard it is technically nice to have if you've already terrored, you know, so. So I tried to go for basically just saying like, if we're faster than the Iron Treads, at least we'll do enough damage that like it won't matter that much. Like it'll still be significant damage, but we're kind of also discounting the fact that like if it's getting a speed boost right now, like its attack is probably higher than my speed. So like yes, they move first and they just go straight for the steel roller. They call me out on my Terra, and that means this is a very bad turn one for us. Yeah, so not much I can do about that. Like, there is technically ways that I can try to come back from that, but it's gonna be difficult. So we can fake out, we can go for Sacred Fire. I actually decide to double up the Miraidon because I'm calling like an Iron Treads Protect or Switch, which they do. So. Unfortunately, however, remember they have Regidrago, so yeah, the fake out gets blocked. Technically, if I had doubled them up instead of going for fake out, we might have had a chance, but still probably not, because the Treads could just click Earthquake if it has it and just take out both of my Pokemon. So yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote, unfortunately. This was another one that we pretty much lost on turn one, you know, except we lost this one in a much more aggressive and quick way, so. Yeah. Now we have a Miraidon. This is like pretty much the standard team, just with like the little variations, right? So Miraidon wins Iron Hand, a type of Ogerpon, Urshifu, and Barig. This one has Ogerpon Rock. So, like, we can start Whims. It really, like, if we start Whims, it's because we are calling what they're gonna do. And I don't necessarily feel like they're gonna start their Whims, so. I'm calling it, and I'm gonna bring Iron Hands. And I'm actually considering bringing Whims in the back. It's not a bad option. Gives me the late advantage if I need it. And it's also good against Urshifu, so. So they do actually start wins, which is a little unfortunate for me. Like, I kind of made the wrong call. But at the same time, it's like, does it matter? Yeah, I can go for Volt Switch. I can go for Dragon Energy. The Dragon Energy will still do a lot of damage. They go for Fake Out, yeah. They go for Light Screen. Okay, so they know they don't necessarily need the speed right now. They just need to live some hits. Yeah. It's not a lot, but like, it will add up. Yeah. So we have a bit of an awkward back options in this case. Like, we basically should probably switch into Iron Hands and then try to heavy slam their Whimsicott. They do go for Tailwind. We will be able to stagger Tailwinds and get the advantage in that sense. We're also still faster because they're Tailwinding for Iron Hands. Yeah. That's still a lot. Even, I mean, like, through the light screen. It's like, alright. Alright. So we actually bring in our whims because, well, there's that. And because now we can stagger Tailwinds on them, so. I'm gonna mute for a second in case the dogs go crazy. But yeah, like, the damage is adding up, you know, like Regidrago, or I mean, yeah, Regidrago is considerably chipping down the Iron Hands at this point, and it hasn't really got to do what it wanted to. They actually switch out wins, which means another turn of Regidrago just popping off on things. Like, look at how much damage that is. And now I can just set my own Tailwind without fear of being encored and just bring back out Miraidon and click Dazzling Gleam. So we're in a winning position now. It's gonna be pretty hard for them to come back from this position. Like, what happens in some of these hyper offensive formats is, like, people feel like they have to switch to preserve something, and then the thing they bring in takes so much damage that, like you're not really in a good position either, you know? Like, so. So they got whims, and they got their own Miraidon. We can go for our own light screen. And we do have Iron Hands, which is good. Technically, I could just lock in the the Fairy Terra Dazzling Gleam, but I kind of want to save, well, no, because I have Water Terra, right? So the best thing to do all over would be to, would have been to just go for the Fairy Terra, kind of. So we actually take them out with the Dazzling Gleam, we crit the Lynx, which is unfortunate for them. And they tried to call my Terra. So smart, very smart. Didn't work, unfortunately for them. I don't think a Dazzling Gleam would have carried me either. It might, but like, I might have lived on red. So at this point, we have Tailwind. I don't remember if they got the chance to set up Tailwind again. We don't technically have to switch out here, but yeah, like, if they were locked into Electro Drift, there was really no way they were going to win. So, one last match, and we are facing some stuff. So we got Rayquaza, Chien-Pao, Toxapex, Electabuzz, Sneasler, and Urshifu. So I'm actually using Entei here. This is one of those situations where Entei comes in clutch because they don't have Tailwind. And they also have Extreme Speed. So what I can do is I can set up my Tailwind, and then I have a faster Extreme Speed than them. What you guys will see in the match, however, is that I forgot that I set Tailwind, and I made a suboptimal play that just so happened to still work. So you'll see what happens. But, you gotta remember things. So I actually set Tailwind turn 1, and I go for the Stone Edge right away into Rayquaza. They have normal gem Fake Out, which doesn't really do that much. We have Covert Cloak. And we do a whopping amount of damage to Rayquaza. They go for Swords Dance, very scary, because now if they have normal Terra Extreme Speed, that's very bad. I, however, could have easily just E-Speed the Rayquaza this turn, but I decided somehow that that was not what I was going to do. No, I did do the right thing. I did do the right thing with it protected, so. The next turn, you'll see. This is one of the things about post-commentating, I guess, is because I already know what's going to happen. Jumbling up turns. So, yeah, we do actually make the right call that turn, but I didn't call the protect. And then we lost Wims, which is kind of good because it means I can bring out Regidrago. But, like, Regidrago gave me a false sense of security, and I forgot about Tailwind. So I was like, oh, I guess just E-Speed the Sneasler, like, because I was like, well, it breaks the sash, and I still have the spread damage to take out Rayquaza, so just Steel Terra and it's fine. Not really a good play. Like, my Dragon Energy almost definitely would have just done that. And then I could have E-Speed the Rayquaza and carried Rayquaza. But, like, Yeah, Dragon Energy does do that, you know, fortunately. And we were faster than their Sneasler, so they either didn't have Unburden, and their normal gem was just weird and random, you know? It's like, who knows? But now we have to get through Chenpao Toxapex. And boy, would I have liked to have a full health Entei for that instead of a 32 health Entei. So I'm kind of just going to feel the situation out. I'm going to force them to wide guard if they have it. And I'm going to go for my... They do actually Sucker Punch, so we called that. I could just Dragon Energy again, you know, and try to call that they're not going to do it twice in a row, right? So we switch into Miraidon, and they actually go for the Ghost Terra. I forgot they had Pit. Could you believe that? So they kind of call it, but we do force them to Terra, which is good in some ways. That Sucker Punch did too much. Let's just say that. Or, I mean, it wasn't a Sucker Punch, it was a Sacred Sword. But the point is, Sucker Punch will do more than that. You know what I mean? So, like, we're in a pretty bad position. All they have to do is just Sucker Punch my Miraidon right now and take it out. So I have a really hard position and decision to make here. I have to decide if I think Earth Power can take out Chenpao. And I'm looking at its health and I'm like, I think it's right in that range. Let's put it that way. Like, I think we have a chance, but we also have a chance of not. Fortunately, we do know that Chenpaos are relatively, like, unbulky. They're very unbulky. In fact, they're on the less bulky side. But Earth Power is my best option to lock into, and if I lock into the wrong thing, I for sure lose this, you know what I mean? So we are just going to Earth Power the Chenpao and try to get an Electro Drift off. The Electro Drift is a contact move again though, and so even worse, we're going to take a Poison Chip. So technically, my opponent should just Sucker Punch Miraidon and then like hope for the best with these Infestation plus Recover, like is really, probably could do it honestly, and just like stall my Earth Powers. But they don't go for it. Earth Power does, in fact, KO Chenpao. So they don't go for the Sucker Punch. They don't KO Miraidon. Miraidon gets to do its thing. So yeah, we went 5-3. I did play 2 more matches with it after that, and like I just was playing really terribly, so we'll call it 5-3. Technically, we went 5-5, but I showed you the 5-3 part of it. And yeah, so it was fun, you know. And I hope you guys consider trying the team. So thank y'all for supporting the vids again. I appreciate those of you who tune in and support the content, like I said. So yeah, we are out here. Let me turn my face up.